first walk I did, and I thought, hell's bells. They're both sexes, they range from age from about 50-something down to about 18. How do they all get on together?
Joined the club in 1974.
Probably about 18 months now.
Since about 1984.
1938, I enlisted a prospective.
About 20 months.
1936, I think it was.
A year after me, yeah.
About 91.
I always join the clubs first.
1980. All that fuss was going on.
35 years?
About 30 years ago.
1982.
84.
1993.
79.
1980, I believe.
Since 1959.
In 1972, but I was sort of a member by virtue of being part of the family.
Oh, how much time have you got?
I know. It was since time immemorial.
62 years.
60. I first walked with this club before it was formed, I think.
The best thing I ever did in my whole life.
It's meant freedom.
They mean practically everything to me.
It's mean doing things that I probably wouldn't be able to do on my own.
It's great to get out in the bush as long as I haven't got a lot of people with me. I don't like people. Because people are pains. Most people I know in the Sydney Bush Walkers are pains.
Good friendship, lots of fun, camaraderie, good walking. It's just terrific.
No, it's wonderful. It's an honour to be a member. It always has been. I'm always very proud of it.
I don't like it at all.
When are we getting to camp, Bill? When are we getting to camp?
You know, do you know where you're going, Bill? No. Where's the pass? Not sure, but I think it's down there. What's the campsite like? Is it a 5-star campsite? No. You're going to be tying yourself to a rock.
It's a great club, and there should be more of it.
Been the best thing I ever did.
I met many nice people, and I went to very nice places because they...
It's a club with a great past and I hope an even better future. And whenever anybody asks me overseas or if you walk with the club, I always say yes and take great pride in it.
Well, we made a lot of very long and lasting friendships through the club.
Great friendships. Wonderful walking in places you would never go without being a part of a good club with great leaders. I think mainly just the wonderful people we meet.
People are all good people. Never any whinges or whining amongst bushwalking. They put up with everything.
Bushwalking, getting out in the open, enjoying the environment with friends, going new places, having adventures.
Tranquility and get away from it and meet other people with a like-mindedness.
And a club where you can go out and try things and learn from other people's experiences and build on that and get out to see some really interesting country and get yourself nicely lost and then find yourself again and come home and have a nice dinner somewhere and think about the next place you're going to go to.
For every bit I've put in, I've got twice as much out. So I'm happy to put in to lead walks and do other things for the committee, and I've had a great time in Sydney Bush Walkers.
A greater sense of self-confidence, challenge, learning from people.
It wasn't until I started walking, enjoyed Sydney Bush Walkers, and I found that Anita was the only one that was going to get me up that mountain or over that ledge or whatever it might be.
Well, they made a big change in my state of health. I got into Sydney Bush Walkers because I was a smoker, right? And my health was deteriorating, and a physiotherapist said to me, get out there and walk, stress your heart-lung system. And that's what I did. love the bush, love the peace and the tranquility and being with good friends. And again, Sydney Bush Walkers has been a major factor that made me stay in Australia.
Well, for me it means to get out, to see new places, to just enjoy being outside in the nature.
Lots of good bushwalking, fantastic friends, having seen lots of wonderful places.
Oh, this is a rugged wilderness which you can't spoil, untouched. Of course, a great companionship with this club.
Meeting great people, and people who I probably would never in a million years have thought that I would have spent time with, and loving every second of it.
Colin, me and when my children were young, it was escape. It was a place that felt close to nature. It was something that you could use because it was close enough to Sydney, and it was just a lovely experience being with friends, enjoying the peace in the bush.
Filled up a big part of my life when I was a very active walker. Every weekend, virtually.
Oh, lots of happy memories. Lots of happy memories of the Buttawans and the snowy mountains and the national parks in general, and all the people, of course.
Great people, the lovely places, the great memories.
When I joined Sydney Bush Walkers, I was a sick lady, and my doctor didn't want me to even play. I could have a mild game of tennis, but I couldn't play squash. He wouldn't allow me to play squash. We moved to Sydney, and I threw away my pills and started walking.
The people.
I went along to Paddy Pellin's shop and said, what's a bushwalking club I can join?
We'll have great fun together. Everything's well organised, lots of lovely people, knowing great places to go.
And then he said, well, the club for you is the Sydney Bush Walkers.
You meet some wonderful people. Great life. I did it for 50 years before I packed it in.
And I love the people, and the Bushwalkers have been, a second family almost.
SBW, big family. That's about it.
The first one is a flower. It's the flannel flower. The flannel flower represents that we love and protect the bush. It's a boot made out of horn from 1939, and the boot represents that we go walking and we do exercise in the bush. A pair of clasped hands, once again made out of horn in 1939. And this symbolises the friendship that we enjoy between ourselves. The map. And that symbolises our ability to read a map and to negotiate ourselves around through wilderness without tracks. Those four symbols that are represented by the four bones that are made in 1939 are really the reasons I like to be a member. Friendship, exercise, going out in the bush, and being able to navigate through wilderness.
Being real. It's like the real world. It's finding the real world.
Adrenaline rush, a high, away from civilization and out in the lovely fresh air and look at all the plants and things like that.
Freedom. And lots of space. Throw away all your worries and troubles. Just get
For
remember when I was working pretty hard and I went out in the bush, and in an hour of walking, I would have forgotten anything about work. And all of a sudden something would come to me out of the blue and solve the problem, because I think it clears your mind.
I just feel at one with myself, actually, more than any other time.
You put a backpack on your back and you forget about the world. The world can go.
Oh, well, you're with crazy people, and you sit there in the beautiful scenery, and you've just done something, you've climbed a mountain, seen a mountain from the top, or you've run down a scree slope.
Ah, well, I don't think I could live without the bush. Love the Cowmung River. That's where I did my test walks. It just got to me, those beautiful pink granite cliffs.
Gloucester tops and Barrington tops, I think it's lovely.
Oh, nice.
Go anywhere, as long as I'm with the right people.
My favourite place is camping on the top of Mount Pommen in the Nullo Mountain area.
Canangra, but my favourite walk is Colin's to Gaylong Creek.
Capital National Park.
Wild dogs, Canangra area.
Wilderness of Australia, the Kimberley area, the Kakadu areas, and the New Zealand area.
I love creeks. Anything in a creek.
Probably the Buttawings. And for extended walks, the Snowy Mountains.
Anywhere at all. As long as we did decent walks and not lollipops. I never could stand lollipops, Sunday walks and that sort of rubbish.
Kakadu, Flinders.
I know Canangra better than the Snowy Mountains.
Where do you reckon? Maybe the Wollongambie area. Now, that's a nice place. I might have to put a couple of walks on there.
In the water?
Maybe in the water, yeah. Maybe on a ridge.
Wet feet, possibly?
Possible wet feet, yeah. Maybe a little bit of rock scrambling, you never know.
We got up on top and mist come in, and we were going up the mountain and we were going down a window cane bay. And we got there, we pulled up under an overhang, and Phil Butt wanted to go on. The rest of us voted against it. And I says, you can navigate uphill, Phil, which is, oh, as hell, you're not going to be able to navigate downhill. Anyway, we turned around and came back, got back, and I said to Phil, I says, you're off course. It's pure white out. And he says, no, I'm not, because he wouldn't believe he could possibly get off course. Anyway, 10 minutes later, the cloud lifted, and we were just about ready to walk over a cliff. So he says, God, you're right. So we backtracked up the hill, and then the cloud came in again. So he worked the compass and I walked just far enough ahead so they could see me, telling him which way the land was falling. Because that's where he came to a ridge, one bit went off, that's where he went astray. I knew we were astray because the wind shifted from that shoulder to this shoulder. That's how I knew.
One of the first walks I did, I stopped just before morning tea.
Oh, this is the famous
to take a photograph.
In the bush.
And they walked off and left me. And they've been doing it ever since. Yes, they walked off and left me, and I sat there and cried for 2 days till they eventually found me.
98 I have, yeah. I spent all my life bushwalking, and I think that's probably why I'm still here.
SBW has two major activities.
One is matchmaking and the other is character assassination.
I thought we changed our mind about that, Jess.
I am one of the many products of those marriages, and there are many children with whom I'm very friendly, children in inverted commas, with whom I'm very friendly now.
I met Jim, and that's something that's very important. And we had a deep, meaningful conversation in the middle of Bungonia Gorge, I think it was. And I decided that we should be better off living together.
Well, today, Christine Davidson was here, and she was the daughter of Kath Brown, who was the magazine typist for many years. Nancy Pallon is here, who is Rob Pallon's wife, and she's the daughter of Tom Moffat and Jean Moffat. They met through bushwalking, so did Rob and Nancy.
We're already taking her for walks.
Yeah.
She's only 6 months old, but she's going to be bushwalking.
Fantastic. Barefoot. Look, she's practicing already.
Yep, the next stop button.
The songbook. He's taking the songbook.
I'm not mad on songbooks.
Roll out the barrels. He's going to read the singing.
I'm not mad on songbooks, but I've decided that you don't need a songbook to lead the singing. So I'm going to lead the singing without the songbook, and I'm going to introduce a higher level. I'm going to start with some opera.
Tell me about doing Ettrimer from Bullfrog Creek to Yalwell. Tell me about your prospective overnight walk, Grace.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for this man here, I probably wouldn't be here. He looked after us. So, yeah, loved it. I'll do it again.
Oh, I had a Paddy Pallon packed. Most trips you'd be packing about 30 pounds. On a fortnight trip, 45 pounds. Or if you're packing food in for other people, up to 70.
In 1950, Alex took me on my first bushwalk in Australia.
Did I? I didn't know that. Where'd we go?
Jamboree over the Barren Grounds.
Had to learn to cook. You only take dry food and you learn to stinging nettles make a good breed, fronds of bracken made a good breed, all sorts of things like that.
He's been a member since the 30s, and he's done a lot of work recently to have the Blue Mountains National Park and 6 other wilderness areas around that area declared the Greater Blue Mountains World Heritage Area, and the world body did declare that just a few months ago. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah. Cheers to Alex.
Cheers, Alex.
Great job, Alex.
I joined the Sydney Bush Walkers in the 50s. The only transport we had was trains. And if you wanted to go anywhere walking that you couldn't get to by train, you had to go to all sorts of trouble. I thought I'll make myself a vehicle that'll take a lot of people. So I got a hold of an old 2-ton Dodge truck, 1936 model, and I completely rebuilt the machinery, and then I built a body on it, a 14-seater sort of a van. The only one of that model in the world.
Where did you get the material to build all the superstructure, Colin?
Oh, well, it was built of sheet steel, of course, and where I was working, we were getting carbide, like for carbide lamps, in steel drums. And they weren't 44-gallon drums, they were about 30-gallon drums. And nobody wanted them after they'd been emptied. So I got hold of a whole lot of these drums and cut them open and flattened them out. And then I put them through the big plate rolls in the workshop on top of a piece of 2-inch plate and got them really smooth and flat. and I built it out of those.
As you would.
Yeah.
and then you painted it.
Oh yeah, I had to paint it. It would have
like
rusted.
a Black Mariah.
Yeah.
They're the police vehicles of those days.
In those days, Qantas, when an overseas aircraft landed at Mascot, they'd put on a bus which would take all the passengers into town, to the hotels in town. And I just happened to paint this thing in what happened to be rather like the Qantas colours in those days. So I took it to the airport to meet some friends, mutual friends of the Stitz and ours. They took a long time coming out. Something had gone wrong in the customs or something. And then when they came out, they and all the other passengers were waiting for the Qantas bus, which had got lost somewhere. Came up with a roar of engines and in front of the Qantas terminal and ground to a halt. Stitt leapt off the bike and said to our friends, family, here, ladies and gentlemen, is your Qantas bus, and flung the door open, and everybody got in. So I thought, well, we're going to the right place. I won't disturb them by kicking them out again. And we set off for town. And these passengers found themselves sitting in the dark on hard wooden benches with a chain block and a crosscut saw and a few things flogging around among their feet. And I think some of them began to think of the stories they'd heard about the Sydney bandits and what they did to visitors. They were getting quite upset. And Jane in the back was trying to calm them down. And finally we got to the Menzies Hotel and I stopped and the back door burst open and these people flew out the back, except one of them who came round to the driver's door and gave me a £half-crown tip.
Well, the fact that over the back door where they'd gone in was the classical inscription, "Abandon hope, all ye who enter here."
Yes, in Italian, yes. Lasciati ogni speranza voi entrate.
I think the first trip was down to the castle.
That's right, the first trip was down to,
Drury's Farm.
Drury's Farm, yes.
Yeah, out the back.
The pigeon house and the castle. And we took the first women ever to climb the castle.
Old man Drury.
Yeah.
You'll never get up the castle, dear.
I realised that they did all get on together. When I came into the club, I soon realised that I'd joined a society of people that were quite almost unique in those days, because there was sexual equality, social equality, and age didn't count. You got friendly with everybody. And I thought, well, this is a wonderful show to belong to.